Hey guys, so in this video we will discuss the next step of the game, that is to control the movement of the snake with the help of keyboard buttons. Okay, so we will see how we can connect our keyboard with the JavaScript code so it can take input and take actions accordingly. Okay, so let's see in this video. Okay, so to implement this functionality, what we will do in the init function, we will add an event listener on the document object that will listen to the keyboard. Okay, so what we will do, we will add a event listener on the document object. Okay, so what we can do is we can say document dot add event listener. Okay, so what is the event? So there can be different events. So events can be related to keyboard, they can be related to touch, they can be related with mouse. So one specific event, when any keyboard key is pressed, it's called key down. Okay, so you need to notify what function to call when a key is pressed. Okay, so what we will do, we will define our own function, and you can see I'm just defining this function inside the init function only. So I will say okay, let's say function key pressed. So this is a user defined function, and I will say okay, when a key is pressed, just call the key pressed function. Okay, so maybe I will show you, it will say console.log key pressed. So let's just test this function, and let's do inspect element, and in the console I press a key. Let's say if I press a key on the, okay, so you can see I'm getting key pressed when I am pressing some keys on the keyboard. You can also check which key is pressed. So this function implicitly receives some information in the form of an object. So let's just call this object as E. So this object E is some metadata about the event that is passed to this function when a key down event is triggered. Okay, so maybe let's also try to display this object E. Okay, so let me press some object, and you can see I pressed a key, then I am getting a object that is actually a JSON object, and it has certain attributes. For example, it contains a attribute called key, so that is arrow left. Okay, so if I, let's say, press a, okay, so in that case you will see the key is actually equal to A. Okay, so this object has a lot of properties, but the only property that we will need is the key property of this object. Okay, so I can say okay, you pressed the button A, so I can say this key was pressed, E dot key. Okay, so let me just okay, let's try to run this code now, and let me press A. So it says key pressed A. Let me press a G. It says key pressed G. Let me press a up arrow. So it says key pressed is arrow up. So we are able to detect what keys we are pressing in this, and accordingly now we have to change the direction of movement of the snake. Okay, so suppose the snake is by default moving right. So once you press the down button, the speed of the snake, or the direction of the snake, should be made downwards. Okay, so what we will do, we will update the direction property of the snake. Okay, so snake has a property called direction, and we will update this as, let's say, it's moving down, and in the update function we will check what is the direction of the snake. If it is down, we will pop this cell from here, and we will insert this cell at this point. We will pop this cell from here, and we will insert this cell at this point. Okay, and this is how you will see a snake is going to take a right turn, and it is going to move in the downward direction when this key is pressed. Okay, so let's see how we can do this. So firstly we will take the help of conditional statements here. Okay, so again we will be using if and else statements, and we can check if e dot key equals to arrow right, that means we should move right. So snake dot direction, that should be changed as right. Otherwise I can use a else if e dot key is arrow left, I can say snake dot direction is left. Otherwise if the key is arrow down, I can say the direction should be down. Okay, snake dot direction is equal to down, and otherwise I can say the direction should be up. So snake dot direction is going to be up. Okay, and maybe you want to you can output the direction of the snake. Let's say snake dot direction. Okay. So this direction will not be reflected in the movement of the snake because we have just updated a variable. Okay, so I'm you can see we are seeing some directions right, up. So these are according to the keys I'm pressing on the keyboard. Okay, so next step would be now this is so there are two things. Okay, so one is we have just updated a variable called left, but we have not written the logic in the update function of the snake that the snake should move left. Okay, so in the update function we have written it will always move right. So we need to update this logic, we need to actually change this logic according to the direction. Okay, so now you will update snake according to the direction property of that particular snake. Okay, so it will not always move right. So let's see how we can update the snake. So this we have done to extract the last the coordinates of the head of the snake. Okay, and according to the direction we will add we will okay, so we will make changes here. Okay, so this is the part we will need to change. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to say if this dot direction, so see we are inside the snake object, and if we want to access this direction property we will use this. So if this dot direction is equal to, let's say right, if this direction is right, I can say the next x, that is this particular x and y, okay, they should be okay. Let me just create two variables here. Okay, where next x and next y. So next x should be equal to head of x plus 1, and next y should be equal to head y. Okay, okay, so this is the same logic that we have written, and x I will be saying it is equal to next x and y will be next y. That is perfectly fine. And if this dot direction is, let's say, left, so in such a case I will say next x equals to head of x minus 1 and next y equal to head y. Okay, so I'm finding out the coordinates. So right, so what I'm saying is if the snake is moving right, and then you will pop out this cell and you will put it here. So this is the x coordinate of the head and this is the next x coordinate. Okay, so we put it here, but if it is, let's say, moving down, we will not change the value of x, but we will change the value of y. So downside you have a positive y and here you have a positive x-axis. Okay, so if, or let us put a else if, that would be better. So else if this dot direction equals to down, so I can say next x equals to head x and next y will be equal to head y plus 1, and else I can say next x is going to be equal to head x, and for up I can say next y is equals to head y minus 1. So that will simulate the behavior towards the up direction. Okay, Okay, so I think this should be okay, and let us see if we are able to control the movement of the snake. So it's updating snake according to the direction, and I'm pressing something. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so now you can see a snake is able to move in all directions, and you can go left, you can go right, you can go up, you can go down. Okay, and it's also going out of the screen. So for that, again you need to write some checks. Okay, so can you do this homework? So small homework for you is to write a logic that prevents snake from going out. Okay, so this is the snippet you have to complete before watching the next video, and we will discuss the solution. Okay.